Hello students, let us begin with the chapter 1 Matter in our surrounding. In this chapter, we are going to cover the topics introduction, classification of matter, physical nature of matter, characteristics of particles of matter, states of matter, interconversion of matter, effects of change of temperature and pressure, evaporation and factors affecting evaporation. So as we look at our surrounding, we see a large variety of things with different shapes like triangular, circular, then round, rectangular, square, and sizes like big, small, and textures rough, smooth. So, everything in this universe is made up of material, which scientists have named matter. The air we breathe, the food we eat, stones, clouds, stars, plants, and animals, even a small drop of water or a particle of a sand. Everything is matter. So, we see all these objects occupy space and has mass. So, how can we define matter? So, what is the definition of matter? So, here, as you see in the picture, the ball is placed on a weighing machine. So the ball has occupied the space and also it is showing some reading, that is 1 kg. So we can define matter as anything which has mass and occupies space is called as matter. If you take any example and you see that this particular material, any material occupies space and has mass, then we can call it as a matter. So, what is matter here? Anything which has mass and occupies space is called as a matter. So, children, think for a while and tell that is there anything which we can call as non-matter? Of course, the sound just now what you are hearing, the sound is a non-matter. Why? Because sound will not occupy space and it does not have mass. So when we apply the definition of matter and we see that it does not fit for that definition. For example, light. Light does not occupy space and it is not having any mass. Shadow, like that feelings and emotions, we cannot pack them in one box and present it or gift it to our friends or someone, so we can say that it is a non matter. So the smell is a non matter, but smell of perfume is a matter because it is packed in the bottle. So you can say cold, is it a matter or non matter? Cold is a non matter, but cold drinks, it is a matter because we get the cold drinks in the bottles. It is occupying the space as well as it will have some weight, that is 1 liter 2 liter we buy it from the market. So here we can easily differentiate between the matter and non matter on by applying the definition to it. So I hope that you have understood the concept of matter and non-matter. So children, let us see here how is matter classified. So the classification of matter is since early period of times, the ancient philosophers, Indian philosophers have been trying to understand their surrounding. Early Indian philosopher classified matter in the form of five basic elements, that is air, water, earth, sky, fire. They call them as a panchatattva. They call them as a panchatattva. So they believed that either the living or the non-living, all these are made up of these five basic elements, that is air, water, sky, fire. Even the ancient Greek philosopher also arrived at the same classification of matter. But according to the modern day scientists, they classified matter on the basis of physical and chemical properties. In this chapter, we will focus on the physical nature of the matter. Now, let us learn about physical nature of matter. Physical nature, in the sense, the way you see the object or the things in the universe, either it is in a solid state, liquid state, or a gaseous state, which we can see, touch, and experience, it is called as a physical nature. So the color you see, the shape, size, these all are the parameters where you can judge an object on the physical nature. Externally, as we see the object, is the physical nature of the matter. Now we have a question that what exactly the matter made up of. So here there were two different of opinions regarding what the exactly the matter is made up of. The ancient philosophers and the scientists, they have put forth the theories, arguments, and improvements. But for a long period of time, there were two school of thoughts prevailed regarding the nature of matter. As they were thinking, some of them were thinking, one group of thought was that this matter is made up of continuous like a block of a wood, and others were thinking that the matter is made up of a particle of a sand, like a particle of a sand. So the ancient philosophers and the scientists have put forth theories, arguments, improvements, and they have come up with the idea that matter is made out of particles, and these particles are very tiny. But here, children, the science has the validity, the proof for anything which is been said. So here, let us perform an activity to decide about the nature of the matter. Is it continuous or particulate? So children, take a single crystal of sugar and break it into a fine powder. Now tell me, how many particles does a single crystal of sugar have, and what might be the size of it? So here we see they are very, very, very fine particles, tiny particles, very small particles, and there are millions of tiny particles present in a single crystal of sugar. So the conclusion here is, matter is made out of particles, and these particles are very small. So in your textbook they have given an activity 1.1, where we are going to demonstrate that matter is made out of a particle. For this, the procedure is, take water in a beaker. Take a beaker of 100 ml and fill the fill half the beaker with water and mark the level of the water. Now what you have to do next is add the 1 tablespoon of sugar to it. Then after that you stir it well and just see whether the level of the water is raised or not. So what is the observation here? Actually what we see is the level of the water remains as it is. Then what conclusion you can draw for this? That matter is made up of particles. Therefore, fine sugar particles dissolve in water and get spread evenly in the space between the water particles, and that's why the level of the water will not raise, it will remain as it is. The sugar particles will distribute evenly within the space available between the water molecules. So the conclusion here is matter is made up of particles and not continuous like a block of a wood. So, if we consider that matter is made out of particles, let us explore the characteristics of these particles with conducting some exciting experiments. We can come to the conclusion what are the characteristics of the particles. So, to list with a few of these characteristics, these are particles of matter are very tiny, they have space in between them, they are continuously moving, and they attract each other. So One by one we will conduct the activity and we will see this characteristics of the particle. So let us begin with the first activity to demonstrate that the particles of matter are very tiny. So what we have to do here, children, is take out you have to take a potassium permanganate crystals and dissolve them in 100 ml of water. So what you have to do is take a beaker and in that 100 ml of water and a drop very few crystals of potassium permanganate. As soon as you add potassium permanganate to the 100 ml water, what you will see that the water is getting colored. Now what you have to do is, next you take a test tube. In that test tube, take 10 ml of that colored water and you put it into another beaker which contains 90 ml of clear water. Now as soon as you add 10 ml of colored water to it, what you will see in the second beaker, children, that the water is 100 ml. Now adding 10 ml to that 90 ml means it will become 100 ml, and this 100 ml of water will get color. Like that you have to take into the third beaker. From the second beaker, what the color you have obtained, take 10 ml from that and put it into the third beaker containing 90 ml of clear water. Like this you have to repeat your experiment 5 to 8 times. After repeating it several times till you see the visible color in it. So this experiment shows that just a few crystals of potassium permanganate can color a large volume of water, about 1000 liter. So we conclude that there must be millions of tiny particles in just one crystal of potassium permanganate, which keep on dividing themselves into smaller and smaller particles. In the same way, you can continue with the activity by using 2 ml of Dettol instead of potassium permanganate, and the smell can be detected even on repeated dilution. So what is the conclusion here? That the particles of matter are very small. They are small beyond our imagination. So the particles of matter are very tiny. Children, now let us explore the next characteristic of particle of matter, that particle of matter have space between them. For this activity, take some water in a beaker and note its level. Dissolve some salt or sugar in it with the help of glass rod. The salt dissolves in water but level of water does not change. This is because the particle of salt get into the space between the particles of the water. So you can see in the picture here, in the first beaker, we have taken water, and in the second beaker, in that water we are adding the sugar. Now if you zoom it and observe it under the magnifying glass, you will see the particles. As they are invisible to us, these particles are very tiny. We cannot imagine the uh, how small they are. So we can just use a magnifying, like a powerful microscope, and we can see. So here they have shown in the picture that the sky blue color droplets are the water, and the yellow color particles or yellow colors, this one which is denoted as a sugar. So this is how the sugar particles get occupy the space between the water molecules. So children, with the help of this activity, we come to the conclusion that matter have space between them. Let us explore the another property of particle, that is particles of matter are continuously moving. For this activity, you need to take some water in a beaker, put a drop of blue or red ink slowly along the sides of the beaker. Leave it undisturbed for a few hours. The ink spreads evenly throughout the water due to the movement of the particles of the water and the ink. The intermixing of these two or more different types of matter on their own is called as a diffusion. So children, as you can see, we have taken a beaker, and what you have to do, you have to fill it with water, then take a one drop of ink, blue or black or red, and put it into the water. Now without touching the beaker, keep it in one side of the corner, and after that, after some time, means you should not disturb that beaker. After some time, you will see that the ink has mixed thoroughly in the water, and the water has got colored. So why this happened means, here this shows that the particles move continuously without our disturbance. Also the particles are getting, means the water is getting colored here. So this particular type of movement which we see is called as a Brownian movement. For the first time, the scientist named Brownian has noticed this or observed this kind of movement in the particles. It is a random movement. Here we see the ink ink move from a higher concentration to lower concentration, and the whole, there is a movement of the molecules, and as there is a movement in molecules, we see the whole water is colored. So here there is another activity to demonstrate the property that matter is particles of matter are continuously moving, but here we are going to take the help of incense stick. So the procedure here is, put an unlit incense stick in a room. Now try to smell it. To smell this until unlit incense stick, you have to move very close to the incense stick. Now lit the stick and try to smell. When incense stick is lit up, you can smell it in any corner of the room. So what is the conclusion here? When incense stick is lit up, particles released from it possess kinetic energy. So what is kinetic energy? Energy possessed by an object due to its motion. So when you lit the incense stick, what happens? You see the smoke coming out of it. This smell which is there, what you are here, you are getting it sitting far off distance from the incense stick in the whole room. This is because the particles of these incense stick, it get mixed into the air, and the smell get mixed into the air, as this is in the form of gaseous. So we see that two different states of matter intermix with each other, and this process is called as a diffusion. So what happens here is, the which means the incense stick which allows them to move, the particles move and diffuse with air particles, hence it becomes easy to smell in any corner of the room. In the same way, if you take the two liquids like honey and ink, what you see here is the same procedure you have to do. Take a beaker, fill it half, and then you drop the ink in one beaker, and in one beaker honey, and note down the time that they take for diffusion. So we see it depends on the density of the liquids also. So the honey takes much longer time, whereas the ink will get diffused very easily and very soon, and the water gets colored very fast. So in this way, we come to the conclusion, or we can draw the conclusion here, that the particles of matter are continuously moving. Now the fourth property of the particle is that particles of matter attract each other. As you see here, three different states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. The arrangement of the particle is different. In solid it is very tightly packed, in liquid it is bit loose, in gases there is no force of attraction. The particles are like a free bird here. So we see the force of attraction is maximum in case of solid, and bit less in case of liquid, and there is no force of attraction in the gaseous particle. So as I said you before, with the help of lot many experiments we are going to explore the characteristics of the particle. Let us see the particle means the characteristic of particle that particle of matter attract each other. Now here there are two activities. The first activity is to demonstrate particle of matter attract each other with the help of iron nail, chalk and rubber band. The procedure here is take a iron nail, a chalk stick and a rubber band. Now try to break all the three using hammer, cutting and stretching. So observation, you draw one observation table and note down your recordings. So what you have to do, first take the iron nail. Now children, you hammer it, then cut it and stretch it. Do you find any change on in the iron nail? No. So it does not show any positive result. Second, take a chalk stick, then hammer it, cut it and stretch it. You will see that with all these three procedure you can break the chalk. Then next you take a rubber band. If you hammer it, it will not show any result. But if you cut it and stretch it, you can easily break or cut, stretch or cut it. So what is the conclusion children here? Force of attraction in particles differs from matter to matter. Force of attraction in iron particle is most, hence it does not break. Chalk stick and rubber band would have comparatively less force of attraction, hence they break. So what we find, that how the arrangement of particle is in particular material, according to that they will behave. Now the force of attraction in iron nail is maximum, and that's why it is difficult for us to break, hammer or cut or stretch it. Okay, then next we will move on to the next activity, wherein you are going to take a liquid. So liquid state of matter. Now see here, we have to demonstrate that particle of matter attract each other with the help of a running stream of water tap. Now, what is the procedure here? That the procedure is open water tap. Now, try to cut the stream of water with your finger. Just what you have to do is on the water tap and just try to move your finger between the flow of water. What do you observe? Like you are stopping the water here. Is it possible? No. As you place a finger in between the flowing water, time being you can stop, but as soon as you remove the finger, again the water will continue to join. So the conclusion we can draw from here is water particles are held with a large force of attraction, hence it is not possible to cut the stream of water from the running tap. So the overall activities, or sum upping the overall activities or coming to the conclusion after conducting the activities, is the characteristic of particles. First is matter is made out of particles. And what are the characteristics of particles? That particles of matter are very tiny. They have space between them and are continuously moving. And the particles of matter attract each other. So this is all about the physical nature of matter and the characteristics of the particles. I hope you have understood this. Just go through your textbook, you will get the clear idea of the concept. Let us begin with another concept of matter in our surrounding, that is states of matter. As you see in the picture, the table, the jar of water, the air we breathe, all this is said to be the matter. But do they have the same shape and size? No. So they are three different states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. So children, let us now understand the properties of solid, liquid and gaseous with the help of animated video.
Three states: solid, liquid, and gaseous. Matter in the solid state has definite shape and volume. This is because the particles in solid are tightly packed, fit together in a regular way, and there is no big space between the particles. Therefore, the force of attraction between the particles is very strong, and the only movement they make are tiny vibrations to and fro. That is why solids are rigid and retain their shape. If we take a stone and put it in a box, the pebble retains its shape. Matter in liquid state has no fixed shape but has a fixed volume. In liquids, the particles are most closely held together but are not in a fixed pattern. Particles move freely and have greater space between each other. Because of the greater space between the particles, the force of attraction between the particles is weaker than in the solid. Matter in gaseous state has no definite shape and no definite volume. In the gaseous state, the particles are far apart. There is a lot of space between the particles and they move about randomly at high speeds. Due to the huge space between the particles, there is no force of attraction. When a stone is dropped into a beaker with water, why does the stone sink into the water? Let us explore. Generally, the density of solid is high compared to liquid and gas because there are not big spaces between the particles. Gases have much lower densities than either liquids or solids. Let us examine compressibility, another attribute of matter. These are empty syringes. Close the nozzles of the syringes with rubber corks. Fill one syringe with chalk pieces, fill another with water, and leave one syringe empty. Insert the piston and try to compress the material in the syringe. You will see that the syringe with the solids is not compressible because the solids are rigid. The syringe with water is compressible because there is greater space between particles compared to solids. The syringe which is empty is easily compressible because the particles in a gas, in this case the air in the syringe, have more space than solids and liquids. This experiment shows that gas is highly compressible compared to solids and liquids. Yet another attribute which differentiates solids, liquids, and gases is diffusion. When perfume is released into the air, the fragrance spreads very fast. This is due to the movement at high speed of particles and the large space between them, thereby gases show the property of very fast diffusion. Liquids have less diffusion when compared to gas. In solids, diffusion is negligible. Things to remember. Matter exists in three states: solid, liquid, and gaseous. Solids have definite shape and volume. Liquids have no fixed shape but have a fixed volume. Gases have no definite shape and volume. The spaces in between the constituent particles are minimum in the case of solids, intermediate in liquids, and maximum in gases. The forces of attraction between the particles are maximum in solids, intermediate in liquids, and minimum in gases. Generally, density is very high for solids, moderate for liquids, and much lower for gases. Generally, compressibility and diffusion are negligible in solids, moderate in liquids, and very high in gases.
So, children, let us summarize the properties of the solid, liquid, and gaseous once again. That is, solids have definite shape, definite boundaries, distinct boundaries, fixed volume, and less compressible, and they are rigid. Rigid in the sense they have the ability to maintain their shape. So, children, here is an activity to for you to do and find the properties of the solid state. So, children, we see here the there is an activity to understand the properties of the liquid state. So, children, here are the properties of gaseous state. They do not have definite shape, neither they do have fixed volume, but they are highly compressible. The best example is the liquefied petroleum gas, which we use for cooking. So this gas is highly compressible. The gas is compressed to a liquid and stored in a cooking cylinders. So this is the liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, which we use. Like that, the CNG, that is compressed natural gas, is used in the vehicles as it is highly compressible and can be stored in a small containers and can be carried easily. The vehicles, they use the natural gas, that is compressed natural gas. These are the properties of the solid, liquid and gas. So you can revise the properties by writing in your book, and you can get a idea like what are the solid, liquids and gaseous. So here we complete the concept of different states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gaseous. In and the two different states, still two different states are newly explored, that is plasma state and Bose-Einstein condensate. You will be learning more about it, or in detail about it, in the coming higher classes or in the coming sessions. In the next session, we will be learning about the change in the state of matter, that is interconversion of state of matter.